What's up, Proto? TsucchieKage here, coming at you with another CZN video. Now today will be the first ever of the Square Peg Round Hole series, where we're going to basically at the end of the season, or once the final seasonal character and seasonal set has been released, we're going to just review each unit and go over what specific set that I, in my opinion, believe is the best set for you to utilize or farm for that individual character. Now, for this specific video, since this will be our inaugural showcase, we're just going to be going over the first 3 different classes, which will be Hunters, Rangers, and Strikers. We will be going over the Vanguards, Psionics, and Controllers in a later video. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this.
Warning, this video is not the end-all be-all. CZN is a game made primarily for creativity. All information provided in this video is an opinion after over 900 hours of playing and testing the game with various cons and team combinations. If you disagree with anything that is said in this video, take that up with God or the comment section. Be advised, sharing your unwashed opinion about someone else's opinion can lead to general warts, shortness of breath, dizziness, nausea, and random bouts of hating. Please consult your doctor before hating on the internet.
Alright. So, first off, we're going to go ahead and start off with the Hunter class. Now, Hunters are a class that specialize in overwhelming and relentless attacks, high various attack patterns, and just basically domineering the enemies. And who's better to start off this class than our wonderful and lovely unit, Renoa. Now, for Renoa, what you're going to basically want to build this unit on is a 4-piece Conqueror set with a 2-piece of Executioner or Black Wings, or whichever 2-piece set you want that can essentially flesh out your build. Now, if you're unaware what Conquerors does, it adds a extra 35% critical hit damage to attack cards that cost 1, and if you want to utilize Black Wing, you can. That'll give you an extra 12% attack, or you can utilize, as I said earlier, the Executioner's call, which would be this artifact right here, which is Executioner's Tool, my apologies, will then give you an extra 25% crit damage. And since you know that Renoa utilizes a lot of cards that are 1 cost, this is an added effect. Now, we can always go with the obligatory 2-2-2 set of Black Wing and Executioner's Tool, and whatever 3-piece set will help you flesh out your kit. Now, the third set that I believe would be good for Renoa is Orb of Inhibition. Now, hold on, wait. Now, before you start typing, vigorously in the comment sections, put your pitchforks down and hear me out. If you choose to go the Ballad of the Unlimited Roseworks build, this build does offer you the ability to utilize a multi-hit, especially if you have neutral cards like the Munsell Enhanced, or the Propagated Virus. Then that does add the extra effect where your Renoa does have multiple cards in her kit that then are able to perform the multi-hit effect, which then could assist you with that. Now, I am in the process of cleaning up and updating a lot of my builds, so that's why I do not have that available for you at this moment, but I have utilized it in the past, which has been a wonderful boon to my account. Now, moving on from Renoa, we're going to go ahead and hop into one of our older Hunter units in the class, which would be Lucas. Now, Lucas, like all of the other units, is someone that I have been playing around recently, but I haven't basically settled on a primary build for this individual. If I don't want to use him as more of a support, like a drawer with a debuffer, or if I want to use him more for damage. But for right now, with Lucas, you can utilize him with all other individuals that are DPSs that have a lot of 1-cost cards in their kit. You can utilize Conquerors. You use Conquerors with Executioners. This is going to be a very consistent thing. Or, again, the obligatory 2-2-2. Now, with Lucas, you can also utilize the Passion set, either if you're going to pair him with other Passion DPS, or if you're going to use him as the main DPS damage dealer. Now, if you're unaware what Passion does, is whenever a upgrade card is used, you'll go ahead and increase the damage of the next 5 Passion cards that are utilized. So, honestly, with Passion set, this set can be utilized on anyone that has upgrade cards in their kit that are supporting a Passion DPS, since they're going to always give them that damage bonus. Now, moving on to our most recent Hunter in the kit, Oh, well, sorry, not in the kid, but the most recent hunter in the game will be the lovely, the illustrious, and the beautiful Serenio. Now, Serenio, for this individual unit, you're going to want to utilize Judgment Flames with a 2-piece set of Blackwing and/or Executioner's Tool. Now, the reason why you want to use Judgment Flame is that most of the time you will be using Serenio as a Ravage character to help assist you with generating AP, especially if you are going to be pairing her up with units like Chizuru. However, if you do utilize Serenio as the main DPS, since the majority of her homing lasers and the homing laser L's are 0 cost, you will not be using that much AP, which then assists you with funneling AP into other units that then can support your Serenio. Now, other useful sets is the obligatory 222. You know what? For time purposes, from now on, we're no longer going to just say the obligatory 222. Just know that every unit has the propensity to utilize the obligatory 222 set in these situations like this. So, moving on with Serenio, you can also utilize the Instinctual Growth set. Now, this is the original instinct set in the game. Let me see if I'm able to find one here for us right now. Bada bing, bada boom. You know what? That's why they have a thing called the filter. Instinctual Growth. Fantastic. Alright, Instinctual Growth. So, for this 4-piece set, if you're unaware, when there are 4 or more cards in the hand, you're able to increase the damage of instinct cards by 20%. Now, with a unit like Serenio, since her Ego skill does drag all of your exhausted homing laser L's to your hand from the exhaust pile, to your hand from the exhaust pile, you will essentially have the 4% card account. And if you're going against waves, or if you're going against a fight that has multiple mobs, you're able to constantly break multiple things back to back to back. So you're always able to keep around 4 cards in your hand at all times. Now, if you do choose to pair Serenio with, let's say, a Sturdy or Leah, so at the end of your turn, you're constantly getting the heal procs from a 3-star Sturdy or 2 3-star Sturdies, then, you know, that's able to assist you with the 6-card requirements. But the same way with units like Renault, where you're able to pull cards to your hand from the grave or from the exhaust pile, Serenio is always very advantageous with utilizing the instinctual growth set. My apologies for misspeaking. I'm not saying that Renault do not use Renault on this set. If you use Renault on this set, I'm gonna look at you funny. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop over to the last Ranger. Unfortunately, this is insane because I've been this wonderful soul's greatest defender since the CBT. We have Mr. Pew Pew himself, Luke. Now, Luke, you're going to want to run him as a main DPS. Now, there are other alternatives for running Luke. We're not going to be discussing those here. Primarily, the main set that you're going to want to use is the 4-piece Bullet of Order set. If you're unaware what the Bullet of Order set is essentially when attack cards are utilized, you're going to increase the damage of order cards by 10% for 1 turn. That has a max of 2 times. So, with units like Luke, since he does generate a lot of bullet cards, after generating and utilizing 2 bullets, you're going to have that flat damage that percentage damage increase that will be doubled, so you'll have a 20% damage increase to all of your attack cards for the remainder of that turn. So essentially with units like Luke, you'll essentially have this 20% damage boost every turn, essentially. Now, outside of that, if we're just thinking about this when it comes to Future Sight, if we in the event get a set that boosts 0-cost cards, you know, something in the vein similar to Line of Justice and/or similar to Conquerors, then that will be something advantageous to look out for. Something that ramps damage for card exhaustion that isn't tied solely to a specific element. That would be beautiful. Now, we're going to go ahead and move on to the Rangers. Now, the best and the top Ranger in the game, as the recording of this video, in my opinion, will be the best draw support, the best pure draw support in the game, pure, would be Hugo. Now, a lot of individuals, if you're not going to utilize Hugo as a sub DPS, main DPS, and you're just going to use him as a support debuffer and or just a draw support, then I would advise that you use Tetra as the main two-piece, since with Dingo Howling, Hugo does have the ability to offer shields to you, and for if you are unaware, shielding is based off of your defense, shielding and healing, mind you. But for a best in slot, Hugo, you're going to want to put him on Bullet of Order, since his attack cards do activate that attack increase. That attack increase isn't just for Hugo. So if you are running Hugo with other order units, such as Yuki, those units will then also get that attack increase. In addition, you can run Hugo as your main DPS, so you can put him on the Conqueror's Execution, or if you're going to pair Hugo with a Passion DPS unit, then you can utilize him with the Passion set. Moving along, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Gremlin. Let's just rip our Band-Aid off. Now, I did use Beryl a lot in the CBT. I am not utilizing her now in the main game, but since I've utilized her so much, I'm going ahead and talk about her now. First things first, because I used her so much in the CPT, I know exactly what would make her busted now in the base game. So, if you built Barrow with superconductive protein, and if you're unaware of what superconductive protein, I can go ahead and show you that here. No, let me not lie. Do I have a Veronica with superconductive protein? Anyway, superconductive protein is basically a piece of equipment that essentially lowers the cost of the card in your hand by 1. If you have that specific equipment on your barrel, that then it will lower a random card's cost in your hand. If that is then done tied with the forbidden card, Gesture of Freedom, Barrel can then work on the 4-piece Conqueror set, but you know, it's just kind of like RNG at that point. If you're an individual that loves RNG just to see, okay, it could hit one of your 2-cost cards, turn it into a 0-cost card, which could be unlucky, rubber ducky, or it could just hit one of, 2 of your 2+ cards, especially if you have 2 charged shot retains in your hand. Go ahead and hit both of those, turns those into 1 cost, but we don't necessarily have to go from there. There are also certain Nihilium and Dialos Epiphanies that do turn your charge shot and your into 1 cost, but that's neither here nor there. Now, primarily, if we're just gonna go with the standard boring route, you will just go the obligatory 2/2/2 cost, with the last 2 set being a toss up, depending on if you're going to be running them with a unit that is applying a lot of agony, or if you're going to run some of the epiphanies on barrel that apply agony to the boss, or let's say you're running her with Selenia or another hunter, or that can apply agony with one of their skills, and there you go, boom. Then that's a wonderful combination. Now, moving on to Selena, Usagi-san, we love Selena. Now, Selena, just like the Gremlin, you can just run her on the obligatory 2/2 set with mix and matching depending on what your main DPS is doing. But with the enjoyment of Selena, I utilize her as a draw support / follow-up attacker, as you can see on the screen here. I am also testing her out and tweaking some things with the Ravage build. So you could actually build Selena on the Bullet of Order set, especially if you're going to run her with Order DPS. When Yuki was a thing, I was running Selena with Yuki as well as Hugo. She was basically assisting Hugo with the draws for Yuki, so that way she was able to get a lot of her attunement cards, and just the cycling was just beautiful. It's just with the lack of shielding and healing, that's when I kind of switched to this type of build, where targeted spotted, I was essentially just utilizing this card to apply the draws, and then I was like, it'd be interesting if one day there's like a unit that's primarily focused on Ravage, and then boom, Serenio shows up. Now, last but not least, everyone's favorite, we're gonna go ahead and talk about Veronica now. We're just gonna go ahead with the obligatory triple set. Now, with the changes that they made to the passion set no longer works and is viable with Veronica, which is Smoge. So right now, Veronica is just one of those people that are sitting in limbo without a standard set. Let's go ahead and move to the last group on the list, which will be our strikers. Now, if you're unaware what the strikers are, they're the combatant that's primarily responsible with the frontline force. They're a balance between offense and defense. So you'll see with a lot of the strikers that they have not only just attack cards in their kits, but they also have a shielding card and or healing card. So we do have 5 strikers in the game right now. So let's go ahead and hop into that. Now, actually, before we get into this section of the video, I do want to remind you that I do stream 3 days a week on twitch.tv/TsucchieKage, as well as on both weekends. You can find me there on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the afternoon around 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I can see you there. Now, let's go ahead and start off rapid fire because I'm so glad I split this video up because this is going to be unnecessarily long. Let's go ahead and talk about the wonderful girl, the man, the myth, the legend, Yuki. Now, I don't know why I said man, the myth, the legend. Legends say this unit is bad. Unfortunately, those legends aren't believed here. This unit is freaking amazing. I don't know why a lot of people have, unfortunately, written off Yuki. That's, it's so much dealing with this unit, but this unit is amazing. I'm kind of disheartened that a lot of people wrote her off, but she is amazing. She's a wonderful AoE DPS unit. Anyway, moving on. Maylin. Hey, look, Triple said, moving on. Let's go ahead and talk about Owen. Now, listen. Listen, if you play or you main Owen, then the difference between the way you and I are built are pronounced. Okay? Obviously, you're built different, and that's it. We're just gonna leave it there. But you know, I'm gonna throw some spice in there for you Owen loyalists. You know, don't jump me because I know how you guys like to tussle, right? So for you individuals out there now, if you're not trying to, you know, if you're not trying to force certain epiphanies or whatever, if you were to take if you were to take, you know, the extra hit wind charge epiphany, that's you know, that makes you gross. You know, if you're a little RNG creepo, if you take that specific set, then guess what, boys? If you dupe that, you could run Owen on the Bastion set, but that's going to require unnecessary amounts of gearing and re-gearing, and I know a lot of individuals that run Owen. Owen runs the same issue as the Gremlin, or sorry, Barrel, where basically he has a mix of 1 and 2 cost cards in his deck that you can't really necessarily nail down, and with his main card not being able to receive any epiphanies to reduce the cost, you're kind of stuck with just running 2/2/2 for this unit, unfortunately. Now, if you're into truth and justice, then look no further than Bubbles from the Powerpuff. Oh wait, hold on, wait, sorry. Haru Oharu. Now with Haru being a justice unit and with a virtual cornucopia of 2 cost cards in her kit, then I mean, honestly, why wouldn't you pick the Line of Justice set? Now, I have not utilized Haru in I don't know how long, so she is using throwaway gear. I have moved some of her main Justice gear over to some other units, primarily my Magna, because I was utilizing Magna and Calipe more just to throw things around. But anyway, outside of that, yeah, you're gonna want to utilize Line of Justice since the set does give you a extra 20% crit chance for cards that cost or more, and since Haru is an attack scaler, you know, Blackwing, Executioner, things of that nature, that's always the, you know, the obligatory 2 cost. Now, if that was to change in the future, who knows, right? Now, there are other changes with Haru. Now, if you are unaware, there are certain epiphanies with Haru's cards that do allow you to increase the crit chance for the cards, which then, you know, kind of assist with the build requirements and the actual stat requirements for Haru, but then you also have certain cards that if you crit, they do like cycle themselves. So they always run into that issue of if you want consistency or if you just want the, you know, the luck of the draw. Now, if you're a very lucky individual, Go off, King. Now let's go ahead and hop over to our next one. Now, boys, Captain TsucchieKage wasn't the same after she saw the events of Egghead Island. She packed shit up. She said goodbye to the G5 and she peaced out. She hopped on the Grand Line, found a road poneglyph, and ended up in CZN land and changed her name to Rin. Now with Rin, just like Renoa, since they were one of the two premier DPS at the beginning of the early game of CZN, and they still have very viable kits right now, especially since she is primarily a one-cost DPS. Now, there are some individuals out there that have turned Rin into a two-cost monstrosity. I'm not saying that that's a bad build. I'm not saying that those individuals are weird or anything like that. I'm just, I call any of those builds as a monstrosity because it takes a lot of work. It's more so like a labor of love, and a lot of those Rins are actually pretty good. But look no further than Conquerors, boys. Like, honestly, there's no other type of set for her. Honestly, when it comes to Rin, you just want to put on a 4-piece Conquerors with an Executioners and or a Black Wind and go crazy. Go stupid. But gentlemen, this video is getting to about the 23 minute mark, and I do not want this to be a absolute snooze fest. So I'm so glad that you were here. If you need anything from me, go ahead and sound off in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed this video and you would like the second half for the controllers, Psionic and Vanguards, go ahead and sound off in the comment section down below. And if we can get this video to 15 likes, I'll go ahead and try to drop that video by Wednesday. So, about anything else, boys, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, of wonderful rest of your week. Happy New Year, yes again. I will be back streaming on the 8th for Epic 7 with the release of Aki, as well as farming the new sets that are getting dropped. And hopefully we can get some Hecate gameplay and try to get that unit working. So, see ya.